Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Johnson. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 14th of June. India eases coronavirus rules as new cases dip to 2-month low. Pakistan will not take responsibility for deteriorating Afghan peace, says Foreign Minister Qureshi. And former Afghan Vice President Khalili warns against attacks on Hazara community. And now for all the details. Many Indian states eased coronavirus restrictions on Monday, including the capital New Delhi, where authorities allowed all shops and malls to open as the number of new infections dropped to the lowest in more than 2 months. The pressure to resume some economic activity has grown as millions depend on daily wages to pay for food and rent. Meanwhile, India's COVID-19 tally rose to more than 29.51 million on Monday after 70,421 new cases were reported in the past 24 hours.
With COVID numbers in the Indian capital dropping to a 3-month low, all market activities are allowed from Monday, but with certain restrictions as part of the phased unlock plan of the Delhi government. Authorities in Delhi allowed all shops and malls to reopen, although bars, gyms, salons, cinemas and parks remain shut. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said that markets and restaurants would be carefully watched this week. As per the Delhi government's latest orders, all the shops can be open simultaneously in all markets and malls, but the markets will remain open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Delhi Metro and bus services can run with 50% capacity. The pressure to resume some economic activity has grown as millions depend on daily wages to pay for food and rent. Shopkeepers have welcomed the move and are hoping to compensate for the lost business during lockdown.
सही है, थोड़ा मार्केट खुली है, थोड़ा हमारा भी काम वाम स्टार्ट हुआ है एंड प्लस स्टाफ की भी रोजी रोटी स्टार्ट हुई है.
अब दिल्ली के अंदर कोरोना की भी लहर मरती नज़र आ रही है, ऑलमोस्ट ख़त्म सी हो रही है और आज से मार्केट भी खुल रही है. अच्छा लग रहा है, अच्छा फील हो रहा है. यहाँ पे जो लोग आए हैं शाम को 2 पैसे कमा के ले जाएंगे तो अपने परिवार का ठीक तरह से पालन पोषण करेंगे.
States like Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra have also started phase-wise unlocking. Tamil Nadu and Haryana have eased COVID-19 restrictions but continued with the lockdown. Other states and union territories are weighing options for unlocking with the second wave of coronavirus shrinking in the country. Experts have cautioned against a full reopening as India has vaccinated only about 5% of its estimated 950 million adults with the necessary 2 doses, leaving millions vulnerable. Infections peaked in India in May with about 400,000 new cases a day, but that dropped to 70,421 new infections reported on Monday, the lowest daily increase since March 31. India's COVID-19 tally has now risen to 29.51 million.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi on Monday said that Islamabad would not take responsibility if it was blamed for any deterioration in the Afghan peace process. Addressing the Pak-Afghan Bilateral Dialogue in Islamabad, Qureshi emphasized that the Afghan leadership and the Taliban must reach a negotiated political settlement at the earliest as time is running out.
Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi on Monday said that Pakistan would not take responsibility if it was blamed for any deterioration in the Afghan peace process. Addressing the inaugural session of the Pak-Afghan Bilateral Dialogue in Islamabad, Qureshi stressed that time is running out as he urged the Afghan leadership and the Taliban to show flexibility to reach a negotiated political settlement. He said that Pakistan was honest and sincere in building a peace process in Afghanistan, but we have been accused enough.
Holding Pakistan responsible for all the ills and the lack of the process, I think it will not help. It's a shared responsibility. And nobody's going to buy any more that if things go wrong, Pakistan is responsible. We will not take responsibility. We will not take responsibility.
Pakistan, which helped facilitate US-Taliban negotiations in Doha that resulted in the initial May 1 withdrawal deal, wields considerable influence with the Taliban. The insurgents have centuries in Pakistan, whose main military-run intelligence service gives them support, according to US and Afghan officials. Pakistan, however, denies the allegations.
Moving on, government employees and pensioners in Pakistan-administered Kashmir staged a protest over the past weekend against a minimal increase of just 10% in their salaries and pension by the Pakistan government. The protesters accused the Pakistani establishment of being apathetic towards their plight amid an unprecedented inflation. Scores of government employees and pensioners in Pakistan-administered Kashmir held a protest over the weekend against minimal increase of just 10% in salaries and pension by the Pakistan government in its annual budget. The protesters in the illegally occupied region raised slogans against what they termed anti-people budget and said they were expecting at least 25% increment in this year as they got no appraisal last time. They said that inflation has risen sharply in the last 3 years and this minimal raise is like a cumin seed in a camel's mouth.
हमें ये कहते रहे कि कम से कम हम 25% इजाफा करेंगे इस 25% भी बहुत कम था लेकिन ये है कि हमें बहुत अफसोस है.
The protesters accused the Pakistani establishment of being apathetic towards their plight amid an unprecedented inflation. They blamed instead of aiding the people in the already backward region where people should be given relief, economic losses faced by Pakistan due to policy paralysis are also compensated from regions under its illegal control. In news from Afghanistan, after the recent twin blast in Afghanistan's capital Kabul, former Vice President Mohammad Karim Khalili has warned against any targeted attacks against the Hazara community and stated that such genocide should be avoided at any costs.
After 2 blasts occurred in Afghan capital Kabul, Afghanistan's former Vice President Mohammad Karim Khalili has warned that the people will attempt anything to ensure their safety if the government does not prevent targeted attacks against Hazara community as well as other injustices in the country. At least 7 people were killed after blasts hit 2 buses in western Kabul on Saturday, according to police. The explosions took place in a neighborhood dominated by the minority Hazara community. Similar attacks on buses there earlier this month killed 12 civilians. Khalili, who addressed a gathering of religious scholars and lawmakers from the Hazara community on Sunday, said the attacks are genocide and crimes against humanity. The Hazara community has also been the target of a number of attacks from the Islamic State militant group. In May, an unclaimed attack on a school in the area left around 80 dead, most of whom were schoolgirls. Violence has been rising in Afghanistan as foreign forces withdraw from the country by September 11. Efforts to broker a peace settlement between the Afghan government and insurgent Taliban have also slowed.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh. Bangladesh on Sunday recorded its highest number of daily deaths from COVID-19 in more than a month, bringing the coronavirus death toll to 13,118. The total number of confirmed cases has risen to 826,922 as on Monday. In view of a surge in coronavirus cases, the Bangladesh government has extended the closure of all schools and colleges till June 30, as well as extended border closure with India till June 30.
Bangladesh is experiencing an alarming rise of COVID-19 related deaths and new cases every day, with the highest single-day death tally recorded in over a month on Sunday. The overall death toll in the country now stands at 13,118, while the total number of confirmed cases has risen to 826,922. The health authorities have also detected the presence of the Delta variant of the coronavirus, which is highly contagious. The Bangladesh government has extended the closure of all schools and colleges till June 30 in view of a surge in coronavirus cases, according to a media report. Meanwhile, Bangladesh on Sunday extended border closure with India till June 30 as the COVID-19 situation in neighboring districts of the country continued to deteriorate. Earlier on April 26, Bangladesh shut down its border with India for 2 weeks, which was later extended twice, on May 8 and then on May 29, in light of the severe crisis in India due to the second wave of the pandemic. However, Bangladeshi nationals with a valid visa of 15 days or less will be allowed to return home subject to a 14-day compulsory quarantine.
A cleanliness drive in the pristine Dal Lake in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir is in full swing amid the COVID-19 pandemic in order to maintain hygiene and restore the beauty of the iconic lake. The drive will also bring back the glory of the famous World Heritage Site, which attracts thousands of tourists every year. Authorities in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir territory took up cleaning of the famous Dal Lake this weekend as the pandemic suppressed tourism this year. The cleaning drive was held in order to maintain the hygiene and restore the beauty of the lake, ensure environment-friendly tourism and protecting people from infections and foul smell emerging from the lake. Due to the rising temperature during summers in the region, there has been an increase in the yield of weed and lily leaves in the water bodies.
हमने इसमें करीबन सीजन में हमने 78,000 लेबर लगाने हैं साफ करने के लिए और 9,60,000 स्क्वायर मीटर का एरिया जो है वो साफ करना है शोर लाइन पे। तो अभी पूरे दिन में एक दिन में करीबन 500 लेबर हम लगाते हैं। कोविड का जो SOPs हैं उसका ख्याल रखे हुए ये ज़रूरी है कि काम करना है हमने किसी भी हालत में।
Along with high-tech machinery, authorities have also resort to manual cleaning process as machines cannot remove the weed from roots.
ये चालू रहनी चाहिए। जितना डल साफ रहेगा उतना ठीक रहेगा डल और उसमें भी गंदगी भी साफ होगी। एक तो ये कोविड भी चल रहा है इस वक्त, तो अगर ये डल साफ रहेगा तो बीमारी भी कम होगी।
Months from March to June are the favorite time of tourists visiting the territory, given its serene valley and pleasant weather as compared to the rest of the country during summers. Many new flowers blossom in the valley during this season, and a ride on traditional houseboats in the Dal Lake in the backdrop of breathtaking Himalayan ranges is one of the most popular activities among tourists for the season. While scientists and doctors around the world are busy looking for cures for coronavirus, residents of a village in India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh have erected a shrine of goddess Corona in a hope that it might help them get rid of the deadly virus.
A village in India's northern Uttar Pradesh state has erected a shrine to goddess Corona and is offering her prayers in the hope that divine intervention might put an end to the deadly virus. Residents of Juhi Shukulpur village near Pratapgarh district have been offering prayers, holy water and flowers at the bright yellow shrine of Corona Mata or goddess Corona as they hope she would protect them from the disease.
कोरोना का कहर चल रहा है हमारे देश के ऊपर, क्या करें, इसका समाधान कैसा किया जाए। तो इसके लिए हम लोग ने सोचा कि चलो एक कोरोना माता जी का मूर्ति बनवाते हैं और लाके अपने गांव में स्थापित करते हैं। क्या पता इससे कोरोना माता के आशीर्वाद से थोड़ा हमारे गांव को, हमारे गांव के रहने वाले सभी को या और जो भी हैं सबको राहत मिले।
Meanwhile, seeking divine intervention, yoga practitioners in Rameswaram town of India's southern state of Tamil Nadu floated in the sea for an hour over the past weekend and chanted Om to appease gods, practicing what they call Jal Yoga or water yoga to get rid of coronavirus. They urged the Almighty to ward off coronavirus pandemic situation through this unique prayer.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.